Or you're getting out of your, it's a great disappointment. And magic, early magic will, eventually there's things you can't do in magic that you used to be able to. So I think, if we're getting very explicit in magical terms, I'm sure you've played around with sigils. But there's a point with sigils where early on, because you're still completely embodied in the self and the will is connected to the self, that you can kind of do anything you apparently want with sigils, right? And it's the great lesson of sigils, which is you didn't really want that, but you got it. And eventually, I think as you find your true self, and I don't like these kind of true self things really, but as you develop a relationship with your true self, or just with your real self, whatever, there are things you just can't do because there's a deeper voice in you saying, like, all right, you can try cast that one, but like I call it the noble ideal. This is what I call it, which is, let me give you a crass example, or a supposedly crass example. A noble ideal would be like you're doing some magic, or you're doing some ritual, and you're like, you're crafting this whole ritual for, I really want a loving relationship with someone who's really gonna bring out the best in me, right? But somewhere deeper in you is going, dude, you just want to fucking shag. You want to get laid so bad, right? Now, so many people have this idea that spirituality, now things might change over time, but so many people have the idea that spirituality is like light, love, and that other side. I say that's the noble ideal and nothing's going to happen. And what you need to do is not give in, but first you need to be honest and say, look, if that's what you want, like that's what you want, burn through it and then see. But there's no point doing anything until you say, I'm just having myself on here. Same with like, I want a job that's going to allow me to be creative and blah, blah, blah. In the back of your mind is saying, did you want to be rich? Like you want, and those things are fine. Those things are fine. So I we sound like we're name dropping him, but I spoke to Mitch Horowitz the other day and I asked him if he thinks that magic or spiritual seeking is just being as honest as you can be. And he agreed. So I think it's just absolute radical honesty, but radical honesty is not being a dick and oversharing. There's a middle ground there. So yeah, we veered off. This is not about Steiner.
No, but it is in the sense that one last time, Mitch, you're getting one more mention here, and then after that, which is in his new book Esoterica, he has this chapter where he's like, I really am surprised to be writing this chapter, which is all about how he thought he could change the conditions of life, and that was what he wanted to do. Summon things in through basically new thought style magic, which is really more powerful than most other forms of magic, actually, the new age, new thought stuff. Yep. But then he said, I realized like maybe I actually have to change myself so that the thing I want appears. And this is, this is said by a lot of people that aren't just Christian esotericists. So for example, I'm thinking of Brave Buffalo, who said, we need to do what makes us worthy towards that which we are attracted, and then we'll have dreams which purify, then we'll have dreams which purify our lives. But it also is really a principle of white magic, as far as I understand it. I tried to do 2 episodes of my show about what magic was, because people don't really write about it except Alice Bailey, who had all her own sort of problems as a human being.
Strange rabbit hole. The Bailey rabbit hole is the
Bailey rabbit hole, the white rabbit. But I one of the aspects of it is becoming someone who is worthy of the things you desire, rather than trying to make them happen so you have them. And that is the practice that I believe you're talking about and referencing there. Rudolf Steiner would be totally on board with this. What do we do to clarify the astral body so that its waters are clean, so that we can do the spiritual work we need to do? Or to put it differently, for every step of occult knowledge we gain, we should take 3 to refining the character,
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Moore calls that out as well, right? Like, he's like, chaos magic is just kind of another way of just buying shit,
Yeah.
That's often true.
But I think
Off-
when I joke around this, I joke about this with friends, because I think when you see through that, that's when that's when magic can transform into something more than just getting stuff. Because I joke about the fact
That's right.
that, like, I joke about, the fact that if you summon an entity, and you know what I mean, like a serious summoning where you've gone through a ritual, maybe chanting the mantra or whatever, and the thing you want is maybe like, I don't know, you've just seen a car and you're £1,000 short or something. In my mind, how ridiculous that is, of like, there's this entity somewhere on the astral planes, and you're like, and it's kind of like, dude, what do you want? And we're like going through all this, and there's this, I don't know, angelic being. And the thing with that is an angelic being that we could say anything. We can ask for so much more, right? Can you heal my trauma? Can you heal like some chronic condition? Can you show me what I should be doing with my life? And so again, burning through that like ridiculousness of, I summon you to, by the way, I can't sing this, I sing this car that I like, or whatever it might be. So I think you burn through that. You burn through that quickly. But at the same time, I would like to defend that, because this is going to sound so silly, but the frame I've started to give is because a lot of people, I think, are skeptical of that like economy. It seems strange that we would say the common one is using magic for a job, which makes complete sense, but it seems facile, right? And the way I started to frame it is to say, imagine if a little mouse started just giving you little twigs and you realize, oh, he's just giving me gifts. It would kind of be nothing for me to pick him up and put him on a huge piece of cheese and say, there you go, buddy. Like, thanks. And so like the frame we've got is our life, right? Like we are in this material world where we need jobs, we need money. And so it's kind of, I think it's fine, but I don't know where I'm going with that. But so I think it can be used for that stuff. I mean, white magic can be used for that stuff. I don't know where I'm going with that. But
No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think we live in the frame of our incarnation as well, and until you get to the incarnation where you take the vow of poverty, you're gonna want money. And really the vow of poverty is just not caring if the money comes or not. It's not about being poor. But we don't get to make all our vows in one lifetime usually. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe you get that one lifetime where you do all of them and then you become a bodhisattva or whatever it is. But we have a lot to go through, and being incarnated as a human being is the hardest thing in the world, actually. So we have to deal with it. But I think the question is, for me, is not about the sort of ethical quality so much as the moral quality, which is doing this going to set you back on your spiritual path or not? And only each person can answer that question for themselves. Yeah.
But I think once you know the answer to that, I'm not sure you can go back.
Never.
I don't think you can force yourself back. So Gurdjieff talks about this whole he says, to commit a sin ignorantly is very easily forgiven, but to commit a sin knowingly is it's like almost impossible to forgive. And I wonder to what degree that if someone has genuinely gone forward, are they even allowed to go back? Like, you can try, but I think there's a point where if you've made progress, this stuff it just like burns itself out. And I genuinely believe that just begins with this absolutely brutal honesty that begins actually at like quite literally somatically the bottom. It begins with the gut. Where again all the sexual stuff is held. Like, it begins there. If you don't begin there, you begin with all these abstract concepts, and I just think you have to begin with like, oh, what do you want? Start there. That's the place to start. Like, try answer the question, what do you want? First 500 answers are going to be crap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the trouble then comes with, at a certain point, what you want, even if you ask yourself what you want again 10 years later, might be so embedded in your life that it's hard to extract. So you have to also be vigilant about that turn happening. If you ask yourself what you want and you say chocolate cake, that's great. But then if you eat chocolate cake every day for 10 years, it's going to be really hard to stop eating chocolate cake, even if you genuinely wanted it out of the honesty of your soul at that time. So there's also a quality of distinction and vigilance that comes along with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of you. I'm trying to use your. I mean, but you get sick of chocolate cake. I mean, I know. You would then, like seriously though. Seriously.